And pushing the button.
We are live. It's the Battle Pirates Crib, and it's Hangout in the Crib on a Thursday night. And we're here with Hefe
Hello.
and Disturbed God, who's still on mute. And we have an Earth sighting.
Hello, hello.
Hello,
How is
Earth.
it today?
How long has it been, Earth, since you've been on the show?
Been quite a while. Yeah, I've been real busy with real life stuff and haven't really had a chance, so it's nice to be back.
Nice to have you. So you've been playing BP a lot, or no, or what's the
I
story?
haven't really had a lot of chance to play. I've been playing bits and pieces here and there and been trying to get on and do raids and stuff like that, really, mostly, but I haven't really played a massive amount.
Okay. Well, today we're going to talk about the new campaign and the new stuff, including the Tideseeker and its various sundries. And
Let's talk about that because I've done it.
all right,
Let's
and
go.
then we're going to talk about some of the mega stuff too. So I will share my screen, and we can start the slides. All right. So first, bug fixes. Got a couple here, and let's see. Hopefully, you don't end up like her in snow and mud and
Wearing miniskirt.
wearing a mini skirt and a waste of a perfectly good bug or something.
To be fair, I'd go rescue her.
That's very gallant of you, Earth. So two quick fixes. It should prevent standard fleets from starting combat too close to an enemy megaship. Yes, sometimes they do start out a bit close. And then badges that are intended to be awarded when they complete a campaign should once again be awarded when fully completing the campaign, not just one run through. So I guess people are getting badges too early. Wouldn't want that now, would we?
Yeah, badge abuse.
Oh no, not the badges.
We don't need no stinking badges. Okay. Let's talk about High Tide campaign. It is a TLC with the camp targets are from Dark Rain, but they do a bit more damage.
I was seeing about 10-15% more damage on how many targets there's 11, 18. About 10% more on 17 of them. And then on one of them, I was seeing probably about, what would you guess that? 100% to 1,000%
A bazillion.
more damage? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the Legion campaign. For those of you who haven't done it, right? It's got the cruisers with the scatter guns and the Zoe Rhinos with the missiles, and then the turrets with the missiles and scatter guns. So I mean, we've seen these targets a bunch, and I mean, my experience was the first 4 encounters of each of the run-throughs were instant repair. The 5th one was like 10 minutes. The 6th one was 20 minutes. And then the 7th one, which obviously only is on run through 3, is a lot.
Yeah, I just used a bullseye brigade to do the whole lot. I just used a single fleet, and it was like 9 coins for the entire lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ran through last. I ran through it yesterday. I didn't have to use any coins. I used the hammerhead for run through 3. I used the hammerhead for the first 5, and then I used the bullseye brigade on the last 2. And I didn't, but I have a Zoe's Apollo. Do you have a Zoe's?
No, I have no apologies whatsoever. What I've been using is a countermeasure Punisher, two
Mhm.
Rhinos, an Aegis with Phalanx Falls on it, and a Retribution.
Huh.
Okay. Sounds like a lot more driving than I had to do.
Yeah, I used my Savage and then one Apollo with a bunch of Phalanx and then 3 Rhinos.
Oh, you don't have a Zoe built either,
No, I
right?
never built a Zoe. So yeah, so I did. I mean, I used no coins for all 3 runs. I used a Bullseye Brigade on number 7. I used Sea Serpents on the others,
Okay.
and what did I do? So on the 7th one, I burned up my Apollo and did like 3 of the islands along with all the other ships and stuff, and then I burned up another Apollo, finishing off that last island. So that wasn't too bad, but it would have been just brutal without the Bullseye Brigade.
Yeah, I was watching the people in my sector have spent the people with good decent ships that didn't use a crew have been spending anywhere between 46 and 60 something gold if they don't use that crew.
I actually done the very last one, the run through 3, number 7, and the Bullseye Brigade crew on, and I actually didn't take any damage at all.
Well, you must have taken some on the scatter guns.
No, because the Retribution outranges them.
Oh.
So
I thought about
Yeah,
that,
remember that trick?
but I didn't
what
try it.
I'm going to knock it together in Huggies in a minute, and I'll just show you what I was using.
Well, I mean, it's obvious, right? Launchers with the range boosts, and I thought
Yeah,
103
so,
would outrange the scatters, but that's a real good trick.
yeah, you just basically got to edge up to him, and then when you get real close to him, just make them turn so that it turns onto the range of it, and then they outrange him, so you don't take any damage at all. Then.
Yeah, I think who was it that came up with that? Thunder put the videos together for that raid where he was doing that. I think that's who did it. But yeah, it's you got the retribution and know how to drive. It seems to be the best way to go.
Well, see, the thing is, mine's really quick because I use it as a sort of like just a sort of rush prep, really. Just as a spotter, so I can park some fens outside and just sort of take little bits and pieces out that I want to take out. So mine's got like a combat speed of about 60 something. So all I do is just turn my rhinos around with my Aegis and just make sure that I keep my Retri in the range of the anti-missiles, and then just sort of like poke stuff so it moves, and then obviously you can run away with it the rest of the fleet, and then just keep the Retri in range of it, but it won't catch up with you to sort of hit you with scatter guns or anything.
Yeah. Hey, and
Yeah.
and as a thought, if you want to practice that, the Legion Assault Forces around towers are always available to hit for shards, so you can practice on those.
Or the 91s, which are even easier to practice on.
91s as well if you're Sector Threat Orange. Yep.
Yeah, or somebody near you is in Sector Threat Orange. Because I get notifications, or when I use the Foundry, I get the following sector over as well. We're in orange quite a bit, but we're not in orange that often.
Okay. All right.
But I was going to say, as far as the Apollos and Zoe's Apollo, I was like you, Larry, as far as I was using the Apollo, like an Apollo tank with rhinos. But then I started working towards the dreaded Mega Hull fragments. And so I'm working on an Apollo thing where I can basically put in waypoint from a 91 and then walk away for a couple of minutes and then come back and not have to actually control the ships for that much of the time. We'll still
Cool.
get the, which
Yeah.
is a little bit difficult with the Rhino configuration.
Yeah, my fleet. I mean, my fleet works pretty well in the 91s and all that, but it does get tedious to drive. All right. Well, I think we're going to talk about the prizes next. So, the really nice thing about this campaign is Prize Pack 1, you get the Tideseeker, and Prize Pack 1, frankly, that first run through is pretty simple. There's really anybody with rhinos or any kind of decent fleet should be able to beat that first run through the campaign and get the Tideseeker. Don't you agree?
Yeah, there's somebody in my sector that's been doing it with V2s.
Yep.
And got through Price Pack 1, but was just a little bit afraid of Price Pack 2 using the V2s.
Yeah, definitely. You should be able to do it with rhinos pretty easy.
Yeah, and even 2 is pretty simple. And then if you can do 1 and 2, you've got 12 days of Tideseeker build, which is enough to build one, for free. So I think that's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of build tokens they gave us, the 24 days, is unprecedented.
Right. And even for those guys that were spending, 50 gold, let's say, to do Prize Pack 3, you're getting a 12-day build token out of it and a whole bunch of EXP tokens too. And the nice weapon and prize, so and special. So
Yeah, once you combine all the build tokens, that's, what, 500 or some gold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, use a bullseye brigade and you're a lot better off. But even if you're spending a bit, 50, 100 gold, it might still be worth it to do that Prize Pack 3. And I think from
If,
the first,
if you have a use for the hull, which I guess
yeah,
we'll
I
talk about
guess.
later. Yeah.
True.
Well, if you don't have a use for the hull, then, it's whatever. You understand what I'm saying. But we can talk about that in a minute. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're right. Okay, so should we get into the prizes themselves? All right, so first Tideseeker. A lot of weapon slots, 2-day, 18-hour build or so. 5 specials, as is the standard these days. 4 armor, which isn't bad. You got the range penalty, but it's not too bad. And then you've got the big, huge damage boost, projectile speed boost, very specialized defense against explosive and concussive, and no deflection built in. You also have decent thermal. Makes this probably an okay sub hunter, although you're going to take some damage.
Okay, well, what would be your better sub hunter?
Vendetta. I mean, not a vendetta, retribution.
Retribution? Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to build some retribution sub hunters actually as soon as my shipyard frees up, because I have a bunch of retribution tokens. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, this is a pretty solid hull for doing these kind of Reaver Armada targets that previously have been really brutal against anything besides subs.
Yeah, I mean, and I still think it's worth getting, if you don't have the retribution or whatnot, is to create trap fleets and whatnot, in case you're somebody that pisses people off and they come after you with phantom whatevers, and it seems like a good one that doesn't have to be a flagship, and it's got good thermal range, decent speed.
Yeah.
And
The only reason I like the Retribution better is because it's got a lot shorter repair time and it's got that concussive deflection. But this is absolutely going to kill subs. It's just you're going to take some damage in the process.
yeah. So, and they made it so easily available
Right.
that, and, you can basically spend a couple days to, if you make it all the way to price pack 3, to the tokens plus a couple days, and you got 2 of them. And I'm not sure I'll use it in a raid, but I'm building them anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to build 2 with my tokens, and I'm going to try it in the raid. Why not?
Yeah. I was trying to figure out. I was thinking about it because I was in the preview, which was messed up at the beginning, and it was a different build. But I was trying to figure out a way to use this and my Hell Race to try and, once you get to those tricky points where everything's grouping together, and put the Tideseeker in there to try and kill some of the targets, so I didn't have to deal with the drones. And oh yeah, that's the other point, that the stacks on this don't count drones, as Earth reminded me earlier.
That's good to know.
Yeah. But I think it's a solid thing for people to build, especially if you can build it for free and see what uses come out of it later.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting point about mixing this with subs. I wonder if you could sort of use it to like draw the drones away and just make your life easier when you got the subs. Something.
Well, I'm thinking for the impatient. I was thinking more for the impatient people, because to get the right, so the right combination of where everything's what's the word I want to use? Where things are spread out enough as far as the different components and as far as the thermal, the non-thermal, and whatnot, that if you spend some time, there might be a way to send a Tideseeker in and then take out one thing and then go ahead and take the other. Because at least what I was noticing with the last targets, some of those things, you killed a certain number of things, and you need to wait for them to like turn the bend.
Yeah.
And sort of spread out so everything wasn't bunched up. But this might be a way to sort of break that logjam up by hitting a few things, because it does have a higher. It's going to have, because I think my build has, somebody's got their tubes turned on, 94, 95 resistances for explosive and concussive.
Leave it.
Is that were those noises just in my head?
Yeah, that's about right. 94 on the concussive defences. You can get that quite easily.
Yeah.
Which is quite good, really. I mean, mixing a fleet of these with some HWs would probably work well as well. If you've only got 2 HWs built, build 2 of these. Got to remember that it's going to help you, isn't it? So use these and take out priority things that you can't take out quite so well with your HWs, and then send your HWs in to just mop up behind.
Cool.
And the only downside, as far as just a pure player's sub hunter, is to get that plus 90%. You got to have 5 stacks. As far as the combat speed,
Yeah.
when you can start even approaching the speed of a Hellraise.
Yeah, that's true. But then, with a thermal range of 85, they're going to be getting pretty close to you, aren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if the right way to use these, if you have the mix of the Hellwraith and Tideseeker, is kill 5 targets with your Hellwraiths, get these things bloodthirsted up, right?
Yeah, that's what my thoughts were on it.
Yeah. Pretty nice. All right. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Advanced concussive payload. So this is a new special in on tier 3 of the campaign, and so not too heavy. 50% damage bonus, 30% reload bonus. This is coming out with the Tideseeker, so it's pretty obvious that it works well on there. But there's a lot of people, especially with Hellrace, who've put, is it the Hunter special? Strike Warheads, that's it.
Yeah, Strike Warheads is 57, I think, at concussive damage at R15.
Right. But this
but
one,
no reload bonus.
right. So this one a little bit less damage, but you're putting out more torpedoes. So I definitely take this over Hunter special. Anywhere you're using it for the concussive.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one. Definitely.
Yeah, use it on subs. Whatever.
You could stick it on the revs if you really wanted to.
Yeah, Revenge. I was thinking that too. All right, so thumbs up on this. Use it where you're using concussive.
Yeah, definitely. I'd stick it on any
right.
so you've got enough spare slot on. Definitely.
Yeah, I like it for that as well.
Okay. And then this new Garwood Gatling gun. So it's another one of these reciprocators, depth charge. Good damage, but notice that it drops off against buildings, so you might not want to use this one on your revenges for hitting bases. Definitely more targeted towards fleets, especially with the longer decay time.
Would make a good prep fleet.
Oh. Yeah.
What, on Revenges?
Yeah.
Yeah, just target the ships. That is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't lose any rank with the Revenge.
Right. The other thing I was thinking about this one for is, sometimes you drop a launcher on some ships to get a spot, to make it a spotter.
Mm-hmm.
And those launchers are range 94, and then this is range 93, which is almost as good. And this might be a little better to use for a spotter, just another option. I put out a little more damage.
Are you thinking for like an FM target, or are you thinking for like a base target?
Either.
Like a player base? Well, I'm just thinking with a player base as far as the walls and stuff, as far as putting out more damage. This has still got to shoot through walls, correct?
Yeah.
And just for, in case people are wondering, that's on the right-hand side, that's the actual Garwood Gatling.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was an actual Garwood Gatling.
It's the most recent version of the miniguns they put on helicopters and whatnot.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a good thing you watch the show.
It is a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, those attack helicopters are the wrong service, so.
Yeah. But you can also mount it on pretty much any SUV as long as you have the right mount for it. In case the election goes really bad. That's all I'm saying.
Don't start that.
Go ahead.
Okay. The obvious use of these is on Tideseekers. I think you build this Tideseeker. If you win this, putting 12 of these on the Tideseeker is kind of a no-brainer, and what a lot of people are doing. I've seen some builds where people are using torpedoes. I think I'd really rather have this.
Yeah, the thing with the torpedoes is although it will state that it's more damage, when you take into account the wind-up on this, it's a lot more damage.
Yep.
Even though that damage figure shows up as being, that's like 20k extra damage, if you put torpedoes on it, it's not.
Yeah, and then the torpedoes are also going to be shorter range.
Yeah.
Yeah, and can't shoot through walls or land or anything like that.
And
If that's, depending on your application.
yeah, yeah. See, so right,
And
if you take the 93 and you knock off the 5%, it's just over 4.5. So it gives you like a range of 88.5, just a touch more than your stock torpedoes, right? And so it might even help, even that half range might help just a little bit. Remember this last raid, so close in how you inched up to a target. Of course, I guess that won't really matter
yeah,
now.
that's because that was thermal and this is on the surface, so that's
Yeah, that's not going to matter.
now they're
All right,
forced
never
to deal
mind
with
that.
the weapon. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And Chris has already built one with the
Fire twisters.
fire twisters, yeah, and it's blowing shit up.
Oh yeah, it'll kill ships in one shot. It deals out 94,000 damage.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nasty amount of damage. But if you've got something that's more than 94k damage, by the time you've got the reload on those torps, you probably would have already killed it with a Gatling.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not if you're going against stuff with concussive deflection.
I don't know. It's true.
Wasn't
But
what's
they,
the
but don't they all do don't they all do concussive damage?
I
yeah?
was talking about deflection. You know how the retribution.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the torpedoes will overcome that. The Gatling gun, not so much. So it kills faster. Plus, there's the splash. It's got a big splash range compared to the Gatling guns, I think.
I think it's 6, so this is 10. But it's the spread. There's no spread on those ones.
Yeah.
I think that's the big difference. Isn't it
So-
6?
So wait,
Can
what's
somebody confirm that?
Fire twist torpedoes, a splash of 6. Yeah.
hey Irf? If
Yeah,
you're
and
looking
I've
at
got
what's that blueprint damage on the hell rate on the torpedoes?
It is 1420.
1420.
And a
All right,
With
reload.
a
so
reload
more.
6
With a
seconds.
reload up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's comparable damage. I think I didn't do it in the next table, but I should have added the fire twisters on here. But I think it's something that we really need to test because the fire twisters don't have a spread, and so it seems
Well,
like that's the portion that's the portion that we need to look at as far as like total damage on target. Is there's no spread. It's dumbfire, correct? But there's no spread. So you understand what I'm talking about, Larry?
yeah, I do. And yeah, more spread helps you when you're against a moving target like this. But it's dependent on a lot, right? It's dependent on projectile speed, which isn't listed on these blueprints. It might even be dependent on the amount of damage you do at the outer edge of your splash, which is another thing that's variable between weapons, not displayed on this blueprint. You're going to be dependent on data miners for that too. So there's a lot of variables in there, and I don't even know if a test is worthwhile.
Yeah, the splash spread testing.
I can tell you that
It's
the
too
guy was
difficult.
torpedoes do.
Yeah, I think both weapon choices are going to mess up some fleets. I think I prefer the range of this one
Yeah.
and the firing acceleration of Gatling. So I'd probably go Gatling, but I guess torpedoes can be effective too. And remember, if you're putting this on a Tideseeker, you multiply your damage by 5. So you're talking about 5k, 400 damage from a hit from a Garwood versus 7,000 from a Fire Twister. Plus damage bonus, actually. So it's another 500 or 700 if you got the advanced concussive. Just immense amount of damage.
Sorry, I'm back. I thought we would get to the mega stuff before my beer ran out.
All right. Well, let's. We got one more slide. Hefe adapted a sheet I did to kind of compare the damage between the reciprocator options. So you've got the Garwood Gatling here, a lot of damage. The concussive reciprocator, so that one's got, remember, shorter range as well, but still a huge amount of damage. And then you got the Gatling gun, the primary weapon, which has the even shorter range, still doing a large amount of damage. But the Garwood seems like kind of the best choice.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that we need to experiment around and then figure out how to move forward with it.
Yeah.
Because what we talked about earlier.
Yeah, and I like the concussive reciprocator too. I was gonna put that one on my newest revenge, my Harlock Revenge. So
Yeah, because I was also thinking about if you're putting on different hulls. Like this slide assumes a legendary Tideseeker with the new special. And legendary. So these reload times are you're seeing on a blueprint. Your range isn't what you're seeing on your blueprint. This damage bonus. This is all tailored to what to put on your Tideseeker once you get it all ranked out.
Yep.
And yeah, I agree with you. The Garwood Gatling is probably the best because it's the stacks. You only need 2 stacks, so I think that's the main difference I see, as opposed to 10 stacks for the reciprocator.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be in constant fire mode, and I see that as the real bonus because the fleet DPS and the DPS per ton, I think they're sort of in the noise relative to the how many stacks you need to get to that wind up percentage.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that this would be interesting, especially now that the Harlock's Revenge is out. If you put it on some revs, so that obviously you mixed your building damage with obviously fleet DPS on your rev, so that you could kill guards easier.
Yeah.
Because that's a hell of a difference between the Gatling and secondary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
all right.
If you chucked in a Fury and possibly a Spite as well, just to add a little bit of extra on the back end of it for doing your damage to your turrets. You could get in there and waste some walls with your Fury and then walk straight in beyond with a few of these and your Harlock's Rev. It's going to hurt guard ships a lot.
Yep. Okay. Let's keep going. All right, let's talk megas. Kixeye released a huge amount of text about the megas and the hives and whatnot. And if you're TLDR on that, I'm gonna try and be brief on this. So let me be brief. All right, so they released another Clash of the Titans campaign. It is the same as Clash of the Titans 2, except there's a 4th encounter. And the 4th encounter will give you this drone bridge module. So if you've been paying attention and you care, the 3rd encounter in this series is this drone weapon module, which allows Omega to launch drones to help it in combat. Now, when you add this drone bridge module, you can send those drones that you put out from your strike module, and it supports other ships, other mega ships that are linked in your hive. And so there's a key stat here: link range and max hive support. That means that you can on this level 1 bridge module, you can help the ships that are directly linked to you. I'm assuming that as you upgrade this bridge module, these numbers go up. So you can start helping ships that are multiple hops away if you have a really big hive. And then max hive support, that's the number of other ships that you can help simultaneously. So if some alliance is coordinating attacks on multiple, they could still overwhelm you because you can only send, again, I haven't tried this in practice, but what it sounded like from Kix's description is that for each drone strike module you have, you can help another ship, but your bridge has to support that. So even if you build multiple drone strike modules, if your max hive support is 1, you can only support 1 ship at a time. So there's that. And now if you have max hive support of 2, then you can help 2 ships at a time, but you have to have also 2 drone strike modules in order to do that.
See, I really still don't care about megas. I've no interest whatsoever in it.
Yeah, I built mine and I was kind of excited. I just haven't really been collecting the titanium that I need in order to build mine up. So
It's just too much for me to bother with. I just can't be asked.
And the 91s are boring.
yeah, in the battle you just sit there, right? The battle's not fun for the megaship owner because you just sit there and watch, right? At least somebody who's bringing in a surface fleet, regular fleet, can drive their ships and attack things.
Yeah.
I've seen some movies like that on the internet.
Yeah, and I participated in the surface fleet side of things, and that was kind of fun. But yeah, usually my megaship just sort of sits around and gets attacked once in a while, and since I'm not holding any components, then I don't lose anything. But whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Kind of boring and like, well, yeah. Too much work for me. I just, the amount of time I've got available at the minute, I just can't be bothered with any of it at all.
Yeah, it takes a long time. I mean, I talked about this a few shows ago. It just takes a long time to playtime to collect enough titanium to do useful things. So,
Well, I had an inkling that this might be the case, which is why I haven't even bothered. I haven't even bothered with the gantry or anything. Not interested in the slightest.
yeah. All right, so let's move on to a reason why you might want megaships.
Gold dripping?
Yeah, gold dripping. Boy, we missed out on a good picture opportunity here, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, it was already busy enough. I mean, it would have to be very, very small. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, use your imagination, gentle viewers. I'm sure you can come up with some sort of great picture that we could have put up here, but didn't. So,
Yeah, they're still all recovering from unicorns, so they know what I'm capable of.
yeah. All right. So, starting on Friday, this gold nexus will appear in each world, and they were a little unclear here because it says a gold nexus will appear, and so that implies 1. But then they showed this, screenshot sort of thing, and it implies that there are going to be multiple gold nexuses in each world. So, not just 1. And it looks like you'll be able to use your locator or something like that, or the pill, actually, I think, to find these nexuses.
I'm not a mega person. What's the pill?
HUD pill, that's one of those little square things on the upper left side of your screen. You get a pill for the Forsaken mission, and you get a pill for the offers. That's your pill. So there will be a new pill that will very likely show where to find these nexuses. And then if your alliance holds a nexus at particular times, when that nexus drips, you will get gold. and the gold will be collectible via that pill. You click on your pill, and this thing will light up, and you'll be able to collect your gold. And if you can hold, if your alliance can hold a nexus for a whole day, I mean, you're talking 40 or 50 gold, which isn't huge, but isn't bad. So yeah.
But, what's stopping people from just waiting till like quarter of an hour before it drips and then going, oh yeah, we'll just take all of that out?
Yeah, I agree. That's certainly a strategy that can be tried. And frankly, I see nothing wrong with that. It essentially concentrates the battles at a particular time. But if the hives get pretty big, you're going to have to take out these megaships in layers, right? Because the ones on the inside are going to be protected by the megaships on the outside. And so,
is there that many megaships about, really? And are people going to be really that bothered?
I mean, if you have a alliance
For
with,
18 gold?
let's just say 4 megaships, right? You can at the very least protect one of them, so that's going to take 2 combats. You can't attack that hive at the last minute and expect to win over the Nexus.
See, the people who are going to benefit the most are alliances like Gimps who have up to 20 megaships on one Nexus. You're not going to be able to take that down, so it's basically how many people in your alliance have a megaship and how many people are online to defend them.
Yeah. And I mean, if you are on the attack, right, and you see a 20 megaship Nexus, well, do you have 20 megaships to hit that Nexus with, or are you willing to coin some repairs on your megaship just to get some gold?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, so the point
exactly
is,
the point, really.
The point is, holding a Nexus might be more profitable than you think if you can find an open one, and you have a bunch of, let's just say more than just 1 or 2 holes. It might not be a bad idea to give it a shot.
Yeah. Still don't know.
Yeah, the cost benefit, I just don't see it working out. I think it's going to cost, people involved way more than 18, 10, 7, 2 gold to defend or take one of these things.
Well,
it just seems like the numbers are off.
It certainly will be interesting, and we won't know the answer. But whether or not Kixeye will make a profit from this event. Right?
Well, because I think Chris said the people, what did you say, Chris, about Gimps and whatnot? I think Kixeye is the one that's going to profit from this. I don't think an alliance will. I still think they're going to end up subsidizing their battle experience. I just don't think they're going to actually end up in a profitable situation as an alliance. It'll just be a subsidy as far as their enjoyment of playing the Mega Hall game.
Well, here's the thing about it is it gives gold to everybody in your alliance. So let's say you spend 100 gold to take down and hold a node A. If you hold that for a few hours, you basically make that gold back up to everybody in your alliance.
It's just distributed differently.
Yeah. So that's the thing, though, is while you might spend a little bit of more gold, there's people in every alliances who are big coiners who are going to spend the gold to take down and hold a Nexus, and then that gold's going to slowly come back, but redistributed to everybody in the alliance.
Yeah.
Because if you're holding a node D, you get 10 gold, you've got, say 50 members, that's 500 gold going to your alliance.
Yeah. I'm just looking at it with the experience that we had with the Blitz on the FM. If they're starting high at this point, I don't think they're starting high at this point. But maybe they thought they started low associated with the FM Blitz where it went from 3 to 10 as the minimum. I'm just curious to see how this is going to play out as far as how they're going to adjust it. Because this doesn't look like it's going to pay for itself from the alliance standpoint.
Well,
and they, Go ahead.
It's like end up with loads of people that have done nothing, getting a bunch of gold, and people that have done all the fighting, going out there, and it's going to cause arguments, isn't it? Just people that aren't doing anything or haven't even been on.
Well, they're going to have to at least get on to collect.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, here's the thing, right? The way I look at it is my alliance has a few megaships. So, yeah, why not try and take a Nexus and maybe not spend a ton of money to take one and you know, but take one, see if you can defend it. You know, don't spend a bunch of gold to defend it or take one. But if you find one, grab it. See if somebody's gonna try and spend to take it from you. Maybe they won't.
Yeah, I think that's the way it'll eventually work out because people are like, oh, I just spent 240 gold to get 18. I think that's the way it's going to work out at the beginning with the people that are excited about this and want to do this. But I could be wrong. But yeah.
Well, and at the end, you know, 10 alloy to pay out. That's pretty good too. It takes a while to build that.
Yeah, you're speaking the French to me, so yeah.
Although it could start getting stolen.
Yeah, and they come and steal it. Yeah. Yeah. I should shut up. I don't really play this sort of game.
All right. Well, I think that's about enough about King of the Nexus. I think it's time for screw ups. No regrets. And by the way, that's a dude, if I recall.
Okay. It's fine. So, you know, it's another awkward boner situation like we had with Admiral Akbar. Did you watch any of that show?
What? Awkward.
Have you ever watched the show Mythbusters?
You know, I have, but I haven't seen that one.
No. This is what I'm referring to with Admiral Akbar. One of the members' girlfriends. They were just at a Star Wars convention, and his girlfriend had the Admiral Akbar mask on and whatnot. And I put it as one of these pictures, and people were either they loved it or they were disturbed by it. But the most common comment I got in YouTube chat was awkward boner, because you can imagine Admiral Akbar wearing a bikini, correct?
Yeah.
Or you've done that before? Maybe not.
Oh, I imagine that all the time.
So that was the issue. So yeah, this does look like a guy with the
No, it's
the Adam's apple.
It's definitely a dude. It's from that movie,
Yeah.
the one with Jennifer Aniston and Jason Sudeikis, and he's the drug dealer and she's the stripper, and they dress up like a normal family to smuggle a bunch of drugs across the border in an RV. I forget the movie.
Wait, what? I heard drugs.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about high tide.
The movie is called We're the
Oh,
Millers.
I remember that one.
Yeah. Yeah. This is from that movie,
Okay.
I think.
But we're talking about high tide, price pack 3, stage 7 is an ambush.
Yeah.
Not about this guy's tattoo.
So yeah, and we were talking before the show, and we were debating whether this is really a screw up, because Pack 3 Stage 7 is way harder than anything else. Just 10 times, 20 times harder than, you know, Pack 3 Stage 6. You know, anything else, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So
apart from the fact that I've done it for no damage, yeah.
Well,
because you had the bullseye brigade on that, and I think that's what we're trying to reinforce. We talked about it earlier. We're trying to reinforce on people. You got to have a bullseye brigade or a DOS crew to even play in this, unless you want to spend 50 to 60 coins.
With the least damage possible, you need a DOS crew or a bullseye crew. Simple as that, really.
Yeah, and so, is it really a screw up? Well, I mean, a lot of people can do this campaign totally for free. So, it's tough to complain. You get this hull, you get this new weapon, which is good. You get this new special, which is good, and 24 days of build tokens and VXP tokens. Even
Can I
No,
just
no,
say, Tuttle in chats said use bullseyes and finish the turrets. If you use a Rectory with a launcher on it, sneak up to it and then press turn just right at the last minute, so it just comes to the edge of it, and then you'll be able to do it for free without having to finish the turrets because you will outrange them.
so
well, yeah, they're then, but yeah.
So anyway, the point is, yeah, it's harder, and a lot of people get shell shocked when they get, a ship sunk from
Well,
one or two volleys. But
I'm just saying they're not prepared, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It just comes out of nowhere. You just
Yeah.
run into a brick wall, in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I did fine with it because I watched other people fail, and then I was able to do it no coins, no problem.
Yeah.
But I watched people fail in my sector and then figured it out.
Well, I just kind of knew that it was going to be like the elites in the actual raids that we were doing there, the mega ships. So I kind of just knew that was going to be the case and bullseyed up just because I knew.
Yeah.
Yes, but everybody use a bullseye or a DOS crew, and this is pretty much the only takeaway from what we're talking about here.
All right.
Yeah. Bunch of phalanx, bullseye brigade, happy days.
Yep.
Okay. And then the breakthrough.
And Larry's going to ruin it for all of us and say this is also a guy. Just so I don't want to be a spoiler in any way, but yes, this is also a guy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What? If that's a guy signing me up.
Yes, Larry.
All right. I didn't say that. Yeah, so, we did talk about Tideseeker is pretty easily available. The other thing I want to talk about in terms of breakthrough is there have been a lot of opportunities to get hull tokens lately. Right now I'm sitting on 24 days of Tideseeker tokens, 15 days of Retribution tokens, like 11 days of Vendetta tokens, a couple Revenge tokens. That's a lot of ships I can just crank out. I think I might start running low on resources.
Yeah, I'm having the same issue because I'm getting. Well, I guess we shouldn't talk about that, but I'm trying to figure out ways to spend them. But that's more because I don't spend as much time building Conquer hulls as probably the rest of you do.
Well, and it's great because when you have a bunch of Conqueror hulls and then these time-limited war games or whatever campaign come up, the more hulls you have, the less you have to coin. You can just burn them up and,
Yeah, because that's
later.
basically what I did.
Yeah.
I had 6 Retribution spotters and just kept switching them out.
Yep. So, build
All
them.
built for free with tokens.
Yeah, build them, burn them up. It's great, and I think that's maybe. Sorry, I didn't contribute to this slide, but I think that's what I would have chosen. It's just all these build tokens, all these hull build tokens. Get them and use them because it pays off. I think those Tideseekers are going to pay off somehow. I don't know how yet, but I'll build them.
I hear people in the sector. I haven't located the video. It's like, oh yeah, somebody's on YouTube is doing the FM 109s for 8 minutes using a Tideseeker. I haven't watched the video yet, and I'm not even sure I believe it, but I'll look for it later. But it was right before the show, so.
Well, yeah, they have the great explosive defense, but you still got the issue with the missiles. I don't know what you're doing about that. Tideseeker.
I mean, you could pile it up, I guess. Just pile up just on one side of the fence. Just pile up the phalanx 4s, RA3, everything you can to increase that side of the.
But it starts at 0 missile defense, and you have no deflection, and your evade isn't that great. So, I don't know. I guess
RA3 is, what is it, like 81.3 at R15? You start, just using that one special, you jump ahead. When you get 15%, say like spores, I could see you could get some decent numbers out of that. I don't know what this 8%, 8 minutes comes out of. And, I'm just saying this is what the people in the sector are yammering about.
right.
Not that I've seen it or whatnot.
All right. Maybe.
And this is a man. So, just, watch out, YouTuber. I'm going to bring back the unicorn.
All right. Well, that is the end of the slides.
Okay. Should I invite people to join us at this point, or are you still scared of the commoners?
I think we should invite people to the after show, although I'm not going to be able to stick around. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's scared. He's going to run off.
Scared.
Well, he's scared, but
I gotta.
They're rough and tumble, this group.
I don't know. At some level 50, he's been messaging me nonstop. Ridiculous. Talking about how great he is, yet he ran in head. Anyway. Okay. Well, hopefully you're posting the link, Hefe.
I think it did. Whether they want to join us or not,
Oh.
we'll figure out. But I think I posted the link. And any closing words?
Yeah, I'll be here for it, but
Austria was cool. That's where I was.
Oh, I should ask. I should ask chat. Is there one thing that you know about Vienna?
Is there one what?
Is there like the one thing that everybody knows about Vienna? We talked about it prior to the show. What everybody associates with Vienna.
Okay.
I'm just saying if chat's going to respond. Like if you hear Vienna, what's the next word that you expect to hear afterwards?
Oh. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I did have some Wiener Schnitzel when I was there.
Let's see.
As well as some goulash.
Okay.
There we go. We got sausages.
Yes. Little hot dogs in a can.
It's not little hot dogs in a can. You don't do shitty sausage over there. Good sausage.
So tell us your best experience there.
They're sausage experts. All right.
hello.
I'm going to run.
What?
I said I'm going to run. You might want to end the live stream. Now we got folks showing up. So,
Okay.
Anyway, good night, everybody. Thanks for coming out and watching. Irf, nice to have you back. Hope you continue coming back.
I'll try and make it every couple of weeks or something. See how my schedule's going.
Miss you.
Right. And anybody in chat, we're going to have Vienna sausage talk for like the next hour and a half. And we'll go from there. So if that doesn't tantalize you to join right now, I'm not sure what else will. And definitely get your bullseye brigades so you can finish the last target for the high tide. And that's about all I got to say. And